What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and I'm here today with Pixabyte to take a look at the highlights in this week's indie releases. The sun has been on my hit list lately and has accumulated such crimes as producing 100-degree heat on the days I have to walk to class, considering himself to be the brightest and ironically calling me dense. However, for all of his faults, the sun is the main antagonist in Flipfly's August 19th release of Race the Sun. Take control of an insanely fast aircraft and attempt to accomplish just what the title says. With the sun acting as your timer, you'll zip between enemies, giant pillars of rock, and other obstacles while attempting not to become a new high-speed housing fixture in the sight of the natives' quickly approaching huts. Available for Windows, Mac, and Linux at a price of $10, Race the Sun can be acquired through the developer's website, which you can find down in the description section. It's 1941 and things have begun to seriously heat up and require your intervention. Jump into your cockpit and revisit the Pacific Theater in Games Farm's PS3 release of Air Conflict's Pacific Carriers. Experience thrilling aerial combat in period-specific planes all rendered to high detail. Drop bombs, torpedoes, and level withering fire at enemy planes as you attempt to turn the tide on the Pacific Front. Featuring gorgeous graphics and explosions aplenty, Air Conflict's Pacific Carriers is a fast-paced, hard-hitting stab at World War II gaming. Those with a historical bent or just bent on blowing stuff up can get the game on the PlayStation Store for $19.99. Additionally, a Windows version was published previously, so PC gamers don't feel too left out. Now, when someone comes to me and says, Splattercat, would you be interested in playing a game called Cannons, Lasers, Rockets? I don't really think that there's any sizable reason to debate the negative with them. Cannons, Lasers, Rockets, more cogently known as CLR, is a third-person action dogfighter in which players control and customize a spaceship to their liking. Starships can range from support to assault, and after customization, should fit the liking of just about any player in question. PvP and co-op play are available, so whether you want to kill your friends or give them the video game equivalent of a hug, there's content in store for you. Cannons, Lasers, Rockets is available for free through Desura, and is a title worth keeping an eye on. Developed by NetGames Laboratory, CLR went live on August 20th, and is compatible with the Windows, Mac, and Linux platforms. The threat of ghosts becomes much less terrifying when you outfit the wobbling old yellow pizza with several tons of weapons-grade munitions, and that's precisely the premise of Wicked Loot's August 21st release of Mudgeface. Gamers enter the age-old haunts of Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man and take the levels on using lasers, portal guns, bombs, and a variety of other mechanics to spice up the action. Well animated and smooth as silk, Mudgeface is another entry into a growing community of unique games being produced in the indie sector. With two planned game modes, Challenge and Arcade, players can get Arcade mode for free as of August 21st for the Ouya. Now, if you don't have an Ouya just yet, don't panic, the developers are looking into the possibility of releasing the game for other platforms in the future. Hang tight, and all the face munching you can muster will likely be yours in the future. Get ready for frenetic femme fisticuffs and Lab Zero Games' release of Skullgirls. Attempting to draw from and compete with artistically strange fighting games like Blaze Blue, Skullgirls features incredibly gorgeous hand-drawn characters with animation so clean you think they've been through a car wash. And not one of those janky car washes they give out with a tank of gas. No, the car washes that come with love, TLC, and the possibility of maybe baked goods at the end. Take control of any one of a number of female characters and battle for control of an ancient artifact using classical 6-button fighting controls. The game has been out for quite some time on Xbox 360 and PS3, but the jump to the PC platform will allow some new contenders into the ring following its release on August 22nd. At a price point of $14.99, positive promoters who pander to the pugilistic arts can throw their hat into the ring and unleash the pain with Skullgirls. Hop on in and sit for a moment. Let's talk about Fregato Team's release of Fregato and Friends. In many ways, Fregato and Friends is a loving homage to an era of past platformers, but in others, it's simply the story of a platforming frog who spits, eats, and belches out enemies while making his way across the screen towards the goal. Gamers will find a lot to consider here as the game looks and feels very much like a cross between many of the Genesis and SNES platformers I grew up with, namely Sonic, Rocket Knight Adventures, and Mystical Ninja. If you've been feeling a massive, empty turrican-shaped tube where your heart may have once been, Fregato and Friends might just fill the gap. Available for $9.99 on the Windows and Mac platforms following its release on August 22nd, Fregato and Friends can be purchased through Desura and for the iPhone. Samus Aran may not have returned your calls recently, and Alucard hit the road long ago, but rest assured, my friends, that their memory lives on in Magicians and Looters, the Xbox Live Arcade Metroidvania hack-and-slasher from Morgopolis Games. With gold to plunder, items to collect, and a reasonably decent skill requirement, Magicians and Looters puts players in control of multiple characters, each with their own abilities. Some block while others dodge, but rest assured there will be plenty of sword-swinging, spell-slinging action as you traverse the game's hilarious narrative. Hefting a huge amount of encouraged exploration and gilded goodies galore to gulp up, Magicians and Looters has shaped up to be quite the arcade contender. At a cost of 80 Microsoft points, gamers can get the game for Xbox 360 through the live arcade following the game's release on August 22nd. Check it out down in the description. Boost up the bass and make ready with the prescription plants in preparation for your journey through Michael Todd's electronic Superjoy. Soundtrack throbbing, backgrounds undulating, rolling, and otherwise setting the stage, Electronic Superjoy is a platformer with style, encouraging players to up their game in over 45 levels of musically induced mayhem. If the thought of pulse-pounding pixels hasn't already got your jimmies rustled in the most delightful of ways, the game has been touted as the next place to go if you've super meat boyed yourself out. Available for $7.99 across the Windows, Mac, and Linux platforms, Electronic Superjoy can be purchased through Steam following its release on August 23rd. Experience Lewis Carroll's masterpiece in a new light, or lack thereof, in Desert Fox Software's Shadowplay Journey to Wonderland. Now, I could start off by pointing out that we follow a young stick-up-the-butt protagonist named Alice through her literary journey, but I feel like the first half of that sentence wouldn't be fair. Given the fact that every character in the game is a shadow puppet, they all have sticks up or otherwise attached to their unfortunate derrieres. Artistically, the big draw to this game will be how the game is presented, as I don't think I've ever seen a game constructed entirely of shadow puppets. However, the game does function well as a challenge-based platformer. Make your way through Alice in Wonderland's storyline while collecting stars and avoiding death-dealing obstacles so that Alice can remain unpunctured throughout her journey. Available on August 25th through Desura, players can acquire the reimagined fairy tale for $2.99 on the Windows platform. And that's it for me. The list was short and sweet, so I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Pixabyte Indie Highlights. My name is Splattercat, and as always, I'm happy to be your guide. For future gameplay reviews, previews, and footage, always stop by here at Pixabyte. We've got something cooking for you. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and take care out there, everybody.